Band Magic,
featuring 5 of the nation's super bands, plus their talented youth bands.
Get ready for Generations of Steel,
the ultimate celebration of our national instrument,
featuring 5 of the nation's super bands, plus their talented young band.
Experience the power and passion of Desperados,
Shell Invaders,
Massey Trinidad All-Stars,
First Citizens Supernovas,
and the pride of the South, Fun Play. Saturday, July 11th
at the iconic Grandstand, Queens Park, Savannah.
Save $100 and get your early bird tickets at $200 until Saturday, June 27th.
Get yours now. Available at ICNTT.com.
At Crosby St. James.
All Kenny Sports.
All Extra Foods Supermarket.
Westby, Tagarigua, Athletes by the Park.
Jumbo Foods, Barataria.
GAC Electrical, opposite Starlight, Diggermarkton Main Road.
Mirage Westside Supermarket in Arima.
And all participating bands. Presented by Super Padman, Ting Gulston and Friends. For more info, call 732-3402.
Generations of Steel.
In every victory, there's a story. In every defeat, there's a lesson. And behind every headline, there's a truth waiting to be told. Next week, veteran sports journalist Andre Batiste takes you beyond the scores, beyond the medals, and beyond the controversy in a special multi-episode series. The good, the bad, and the ugly of sports in Trinidad and Tobago. Hear from some of the nation's top athletes, administrators, coaches, and the biggest names in local sport as they share their triumphs, challenges, frustrations, and hopes for the future. Airs Wednesday 10th to Friday 12th at 2:30 p.m. Only on WESN, the content capital.
WESN.
This is 10 Questions. I'm Andy Johnson. Good to see you as usual here on WES. And let's tell you what's happening over the course of this edition of the program. We will be talking about efforts to further develop the area in southwest Trinidad on the southwest peninsula. Let's say, I would say between Santa Flora and Los Uro area. We'll talk about things in Rancho Quemado as we go along. And the efforts and I would say the activities, the aspirations of the people running an organization called the People First Foundation. We have with us, therefore, the founder and president, Mr. Johnson Guevara, and the PRO, and I think he performs other roles as well in the organization, Mr. Lennox Corey. Gentlemen, good to have you on this edition of the program.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Like I said, we're talking about generally because Mr. Guevara, the conversations we've had in the time since I got access to your name and number and called you up. You seem to have a mission for development in that part of the country, that part of the Southwest. And the discussions we've had, you talk about your proposals to do a number of things to I would say, raise life and raise living and even further promote the sensibilities of the people in that part of the country, our people. And Mr. Guevara, you'd come in, Mr. Corey, when it's necessary to do that. You're the PRO of the organization. But before we get there, I wanted to talk, since you're, I would say, in the middle of this national tragedy that happened a couple of days ago, the murder of this young lady. Mercedes. Yeah, let me just this young lady.
Yes.
A primary school student who was murdered after being battered by someone with whom she was trying to get home. Her grandfather put her in his vehicle to drop home, well, a couple of miles away from where she was picked up to where she was going, and she never made it. I'll talk a little bit about how that has left the neighborhood in that part of the country.
Well, Andy, it is a sad state, and it has the people in the area feeling upset. It is unfortunate that this happened, and the people in the area and surrounding areas are feeling very, very hurt. As a matter of fact, by extension, Trinidad and Tobago. Because when a murder occurs, especially of that nature, you find it creates a sort of dampness, a sort of sadness throughout. And because of that, the people in the area come together to console the family, support, and, you know, cheer up people and get things going, you know, in a nice way. Yeah.
So I mean, but there must be, as we speak, I mean, you would say that the grief and the grieving will continue for some time.
Yes,
and
yes.
People would need some kind of assistance to come through that.
Yes, yes. They will need some bit of psychological care and so on. And because it's a child, and because of that closeness where she was with not only her sisters and brothers, but people in the neighborhood, at her school, you know, at her church. And everybody's feeling it. Everybody's feeling it. And I think that the government needs to do certain things in depth for that to be effective, whatever they have in mind, so that it could have some bit of well, comfort for the grieving family, especially.
Mr. Corey, what's your take on it?
Well, as I say, thanks again for having us here this morning. And to the bereaved family, I give my condolence today to the bereaved family. Now, it left the whole community traumatized, uncomfortable, vexed, outraged. I don't have enough adjectives to describe it. The manner in which this crime was committed, so heinous that it is beyond anybody's comprehension. To see that frail little girl, I know her, not personally, but I seen her traversing the area, and helplessly did not know what was her fate when she entered into that car. And you know, well, you will hear different versions of how the event unfolded by people speculating and so on. And
yeah, because nobody was present to see what was happening right there. Right?
No, I can't say, but you know, we'll hear talk on the ground and speculation, so I can't confirm anything. But you know, it has created the image and so on as to what happened. And what was being said that grandfather put her in a car, right? Monte Cristo, that is where they call it Lawrence Lot.
Yeah,
presently.
Lawrence Lot, yeah.
Right?
So Monte Cristo, that's the correct name?
That's the original name from way back.
I never knew that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Monte Cristo, they had a set of orange field there and so on, estate. However, when he put her in the car drove off, just less than 5 minutes drive between.
To where she was going?
Yeah. And I understood that he went into Lasiro, where she's supposed to drop, and he came back out with her. And he went into Carapal, and he did what he had to do, what he think he was supposed to do.
And then killed them.
Right. And the oil field area, they might have wells and so on. So normally there's go and swab the well to extract the oil. And I understand that one of the person on the truck, maybe the lorry man or driver, spotted her, and immediately they informed the police. But also when the child took the car, the grandfather put her in the car, I understand that that would have been Saturday evening, about 4 o'clock, right? And they called to find out if the child had returned to their mother. They said no. From what I understand, everything is what I understand, what I heard. Right. The father immediately went to the police station and made that report. And there was immediate action by the police from what they said the family is thanking the police for the immediate movements and so on, and hunt and search and rescue and all the various arms of the service, kidnapping and whatever it is.
Right. All right, so tell me this, you think as we speak, the burden of that, I would say the sense of oppressiveness and the sense of outrage in the community has lessened, has people have come back to living, moving about normally?
It will never be. Now, it's a mix, right? You know, there are a lot of Christian people live in that area. There are many different churches. Yeah. Primarily the Adventist church, which is very active in the area. So, you know,
the Catholic church is down the road. And
the Catholic church is down Airlink. Yeah. The Adventist church is just after Lucero Junction. And they have some other church, which is a full gospel church, just opposite the Lucero road to go in there. Yeah. So, you know, there will be some form of forgiveness and whatever it is. But I think in the hearts of those people, there's a bitterness.
It's a heavy load to carry.
It's a heavy load to carry.
We watch as it goes. I just wanted to put some attention on that because it rocked, I think.
Yes, it's beyond anybody's comprehension.
Right.
To sympathize with that situation.
All right. So give the viewers there a sense of the state of mind of a lot of people as they try to deal with that, and this child was said to have been such a joy and such
it will never be the same.
A treasure in her school, in her community, among her family. So let's come back to you, Chief, Mr. Guevara.
Yes.
Every time we've spoken, you've been talking about some event, some issue concerning the further development of people in that part of the country. I want to get to let's get in there and talk about some of the things that you've planned, some of the things you've been doing.
Before I go that way, I just want to point out something with respect to this incident. Now, I heard the Prime Minister saying that she's going to do certain things, do her best to see how well she could address the situation and all this sort of things. If I want to throw out an advice, because having been a police officer for 27 years, 20 years in the CID, and for you to stay there, you have to produce and deliver.
So you were a police officer for 27 years, but 20 of those you were in the CID?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So
and having that other 5 years, that other 7 years, sorry, I worked in the President Guard, Court and Process, and all the stations in Southwestern. And Santa Flora, Erin, okay. Faizabad, Oropoch, Labray, Point, Wapo. Right. So having had that round of different stations, I was able to see and observe, make mental note of the way the people in the different communities operate and think. Now, if I have to give an opinion about ways, means, methods, and measures to address this problem, hopefully that it won't happen again or people become aware, I suggest, you see this PH taxi driving thing? I am saying that must stop. That should be an offense. Because if you want to run taxi, toe the line and get your certificate of character and get your taxi badge and fall in. Now, people might say, well, you know, them PH just carry you in the night when them taxi are there and all this kind of thing. When that happens, where the PH get the taxi badge and so on, those who with good character and so on, the taxis themselves will have no other choice but to fall in and carry people wherever they're supposed to carry. A lot of people who running PH, some of them have no character, bad character. So that character certificate is a hindrance. And it will be easier for the police and the wardens to detect taxis doing they're plying their trade, as opposed to somebody doing something else. You will be able to identify gangs. Because when you see a car with a certain person dressed in a certain way and a certain age group, you could be able to form an opinion and be able to crack down heavy on that vehicle or that nature. You will be able to identify more.
So that's a part of the discussion that is taking place now
no, this is my opinion, and I believe it's a good one, right? You want to run taxi? Get your taxi badge, get other documents, go through the procedures just like that, like other people. And you find those who run in PH and all this kind of thing, that should be an offense. Let us do things proper. Let us have some discipline. It will be easier for the police, the authorities, to identify what is going on the road, on the public road. That is my opinion. We have to start somewhere, and we have to start in a certain way. There are too many times, Andy, I see people smoking unusual shaped cigarettes, driving, and they have children in car, and they go in. Yeah, it doesn't look good.
I think that's a euphemism. What you want to say, you say unusually shaped cigarettes.
Yes.
that's a clever point.
Yeah, yeah. So this is how it is, right? Drastic times come for drastic measures, because what went on there with that little child is only God could have saved her, nobody else. And what type of vehicle? A PH, right? So, points to note.
What is the state of the child's grandfather, Mr. Curry, as far as you know?
Well, we were in the week, President and I, and you were sitting there, one or two people. But I could do an evaluation in the sense of what happened. You'll ask, why me? Why my daughter? You might even get vexed with the Father, the Most High, right?
So he needs some attention being paid to as well.
Well, the whole family need counseling.
Yeah.
Right? They need counseling. And, well, I would not say immediate counseling, because at this time you cannot process or absorb anything, you know. You understand?
So sometimes
it's just the people around you have to keep you, have to talk to you. Yeah. You don't need it, because you don't want to hear anything. Yeah. Most of it, right? So what I think, this whole process have to take place within a certain time. Then the authorities have to step in and do what they have to do together with his cooperation.
Okay, I see what you mean. You mean like, that shouldn't be rushed. That process shouldn't be rushed. So
no, it shouldn't be rushed, because
at
this moment it's confusion, it's bitterness. Yeah. Because if I think, I'm not saying him, but let us put the shoes on the other foot. Yeah. You don't want to hear the master, right? Why me? Why this little child? Oh, it should have been me. Yeah. Oh, you start to blame the grandfather. You start to blame the brother, the sister, the authorities, with the PH business and all this kind of thing.
Yeah. So there's a lot of work to be done before we get anywhere. All right. Mr. Guevara, let me come back to you on the I would say I would call it the principal matter. This is very serious business. But like I was saying earlier, every time we've spoken, you're talking about some project or program in some part of the district that you wanted to get attended to. I think you had said you had spoken to a minister about the roads leading to to the beaches and to the seas, and that's just one aspect of the things you want to get done.
Yes.
And
Yes, Andy. Well, first of all,
cemetery and so on.
Yes. Well, Andy, the organization, the People First Foundation, is just over a year old. It came into existence on the 9th of September, 2024, right? Through the Ministry of Legal Affairs. And our aim, first of all, we decided to control or take charge of the districts of Erin and Palo Seco, right? And the purpose for that is for betterment for the people. That was being ignored for decades at local government level and at central government level, right? We want betterment and what is right for the people of Palo Seco and Erin, because they have been deprived of for decades, while other places are enjoying the benefits. And the sad thing about it, and the oil money coming from down there, but nothing spending down there. Now, I was able to identify a few areas, and I was able to put pen to paper. Now, the People First Foundation is like a conduit. One end of the wire is to touch on the different ministers and the different ministries, and the other end is the people on the ground. That is really the foundation and the operation of the People First Foundation. And we are dealing with it on 5 pillars. 5 pillars. That is betterment for the people of the districts of Erin, Palo Seco, employment, training, health and wellness, and crime prevention. Those are the main areas that we take up to push forward for the betterment of the people.
Who are you targeting to help address some of those things?
Almost all the ministers in the ministries, and I will tell you why.
In the government?
In the government. I'll tell you why. I started off with Losiro. Losiro was a flagship. A lot of other beaches throughout Trinidad and Tobago got the cue from Losiro.
Take me down to Losiro.
Take me down to Losiro by the Kiskidi Trio.
Okay.
Right? And don't let me mama know.
Yeah.
Long time they used to have this brass band playing music on the beach.
It used to be fets. I mean,
yes,
the group in Los Bajo, Zenith Youth Club, kept all their fets in Losiro.
Succession Brass used to be playing music there.
Yeah, well,
and also you had sports. So you used to have sports, Easter sports on the seashore, swimming and all this sort of thing, right? Even the first Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago came down there on a big excursion in, I think it was 1969 or something like that. Yes. And Losiro was it. It used to generate a lot of employment and commerce, right? All through weekends. Anytime you hear the excursion, the first beach is Losiro, right? But due to the actions and inactions of the different government at different level, Losiro gone to the dogs. For example, you have the lifeguard hut where they build on the main road, the end of Losiro main road. That is contrary to the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Act, Chapter 48 or 50. And right now, the sea water, when it comes up, it goes under the road, and it has affected the beachfront, and so much so that the lifeguard have a hut on the outside to safeguard themselves, right? So that complaint falls under the Minister of Defense, Wayne Surge, the Honorable Wayne Surge. Then I mentioned about the road leading from Losiro Junction to the beach and other areas that it need paving over, right? And of course we want the width of the road to maintain. and the thickness of the asphalt to spread properly and all this sort of thing. And the reason for that too is for patrols by the authorities to be encouraged to go along the beaches and to guard our shores, because the roads out there is terrible, terrible. All the side roads and so on, the Irie Road and the roads leading to the beachfront. So Ms. Jolene John got a document as well. Then I sent one to the Senator, Dr. Kennedy Siwat Singh. He is planning minister and so on. We request the beachfront be fixed along with a big car park. Now, over the years, Andy, there are some pile of stone that projecting out on the beach, in the sea. Well, there are lots of people who fall, hit their head, and drown because of that, right? That is not the way to address the situation. To fix that beachfront, it must be parallel with the sea. And then you'll be able to have a proper park with toilets and other amenities and so on. And people will be coming down to vend and all this sort of things. So that's what we want. Then I sent correspondence to him and also the Commissioner, Alistair Guevara. Why? Because it's an offense that took place there. How you could build put up a structure on the main road? So he will be able to look into that. So all those things I was able to send to the different ministers. And they haven't responded to me as yet, but I've given them some time to look into it. Look, as you can see here, we insert Jolene John, Kennedy Siwat Singh, the commissioner, and so on, from the founder and president, and I outlined things in details. I also took pictures to support my claim, right? Well, and here are the pictures, as you can see. Look at the different pictures and so on, right? That I took about this so-called thing for the lifeguard to stay, yeah. Right? I have here this document, where on Tuesday, the 14th of August, 2025, at Maracas Beach, Minister of Defense, Wayne Sturge, and the Parliamentary Secretary, Ministry of Trade and Tourism, Dr. Colin Neil Gosine, further ascertain challenges of the beach and so on and all this other things, right? And they say, the Honorable Prime Minister has set a pace. We will fix it. What happened to Lucero? Who is going to say anything on behalf of Lucero? And that is where the People First Foundation comes in, right? Look, people drowning and all kind of things, right? And all sorts of things, right? Now, what is interesting, you know, they will throw out a trump card at you and say, well, we have no money, right? That's the thing they're waiting for you to pause to say we have no money. But having done my research, look at here. Yeah. Let me show you it.
That's
look at here.
Saying.
Yes, and hear what he said. Hear what the first paragraph said. Trinidad and Tobago is set to receive $3.5 million US in grant funding over the next 4 years to tackle land degradation and strengthen climate resilience as the country roll out a major environmental initiative focused on nature-based solution. You see? Now, hear what he went on to say here. I'm just touching on this area here because it is important. What he said, Planning, Economic Affairs and Development Minister Kennedy Siwat Singh said, this project marks a government commitment to Trinidad and Tobago's environmental well-being through nature positive action and development. He added the ministry was proud to be part of the bio-resilience project, noting it also helps to fulfill the ministry's environment and climate change mandate. Now, they're focusing on Maracas and Tobago. Where is Lucero? Where is Lucero? Mr. Johnson, let me tell you something. I love to do research, and I love to push a pen.
It would appear so. Yeah.
So, you understand. So I send it for them. And look, I walk my correspondence.
Where's the MP for the area?
Oh, also, good question. I also send them a copy of this as well, because for protocol, I must involve him. Look at here, right? To the Honorable Mr. Clyde Elder, Member of Parliament for Liberal Constituency. All my correspondence, wherever I have to send it, I must pass it through him for, you understand?
What's been his response?
Well, I haven't touched base with him as yet. So, because he has a number of things doing, and not that I am ducking, but when I hold him down, it's not only for that. You understand?
Or you're giving him some understanding.
Yes, yes. Let him feed on it, or let him consult with the other ministers. So, you know. So these are the, and this was sent on the 23rd of April, 2026. You see my receipt for signing, receiving the correspondence. So we're giving them some time. I also sent a correspondence to Ms. Michelle Benjamin, Minister of Culture and Development, telling her about the community centers. Rancho Community Center, let me show you the Rancho Community Center. Look at the condition. Look at the condition of the community center.
It's going, if not has gone to dogs.
Huh?
Okay. That's a correct way to put it. It's going, not there yet, to dogs.
The dog refused it.
Yeah.
Just imagine a vagrant, or what they say, a homeless or a street dweller, you name it, choose which one to describe.
Yeah.
Refuse to go there. Just imagine, he said the place too dangerous. Look at the picture. You understand?
Yeah.
Look at it. Yeah. And I wrote her, and I told her about it. Also, I told her that Salazar Trace don't have a community center. They want one there. And Palo Seco Center need refurbishing. Now, to prove my point where I said about for decades neglect, in the 2024-25 budget that was read by the previous Minister of Finance, he made mention about 11 community centers they built. He boasts about it, and I will tell you here. He mentioned Arima, Diego Martin South, Point Lisa's Gardens, Matugal, Bellevue, Cayman,
Matawal, I think.
Matugal, Tacarigua, Belmont, Maraval, Diego Martin North, and Cascade. You hear anything about Rancho? You hear anything about Salazar Trace? Are going again. He boasts again that they did they refurbished 5 community centers are going. Bonjejon, Caranage, Toku, Faizabad and Baratara. You hear anything about Palo Seco? That is the kind of representation we had in the past. So when I talk about how we have been deprived of, I know exactly what I'm talking about.
But you would say that the current MP, you think he's not had his feet too firmly planted in the ground, even now, to begin to address some of these things, or that?
Well, I will be engaging him with these matters. However, right now, I sent correspondence to the Prime Minister, the Minister of Sports, Philip Watts, and I have a correspondence for Sir David Nake, the Parliamentary Secretary of Sports, but I just couldn't find where his office is to drop it, telling them about the velodrome in Palo Seco.
Well, I was just going to ask about industry park
Yes,
as a whole.
yes,
Right.
yes. And I talk about what is existing there and the type of, and the level of sport in activities that used to take place there. And stars like Hazley Crawford, Otto Bolden, and other, you know,
plus,
even Roger Gibbons.
Plus cyclists from all over.
Yeah, all over the world.
Venezuela,
When you go down there, I talk about a stand where cyclists used to be there. You only seen chrome, the place glittering, and different jerseys representing different countries, and so on, and how it used to be vibrant and all this sort of things.
Yeah.
So
I remember seeing challenges, a man named
Yeah.
Mario Vanegas and Mr. Gibbon.
Right.
Mr. Gibbon.
So I send that out. Well, of course, the MP, he got his. And on the 1st of this month, there was a walkthrough with the UDCOT people, Heritage, the minister of our minister, the Honorable Clyde Elder, and Honorable Ernesto Kiza. Yeah. And of course, the People First Foundation was there. And I told them that, I asked the question, if they're only going to fix the pavilion. Nobody answered. And I mentioned about it is time for us to get involved with sports tourism. We cannot sit here and not do anything and want to see this athlete perform at world level and Olympic level. Yeah. We have to lay the foundation.
I mean for that to return, because when
for that, yes. So
seen,
right now I'm finishing write a follow-up based on my findings and that walkthrough to send from the Prime Minister come right down to let them know that we want swimming pool, we want basketball court, lawn tennis court, and netball court, because we have a lot of talent, not only in Palo Seco area, but in this country. You understand? We want a proper football field and a mondo track around that football field so that people can come from all over the world to take part in sports. Because before in BP, TPD, Tesoro, Trentopec days, you had sports athletes from all over, right? All over America coming there. And that used to boost tourism. It used to boost employment and all sorts of things, businesses. So we want that back in Palo Seco. Don't come and just give me a wish-wash thing and expect us to take that. Because this evening here, we having a meeting with a group that kind of controlling the velodrome area. And what I write that I will have to mention, we are telling it, just to give you an insight, that the people who live in the area must be able to get employment. You can't bring people from way out. Bring people, we can do the same thing. We want employment, the people are wrong, right? And be part of the process in fixing the thing. Don't just put any piece of structure or pavilion and say, take that. No, those days are over. We must have a voice so that we'll be able to be encouraged to take care of the facilities.
What is the sense of mobilization that you may have helped to push into the minds of other residents and citizens and interested people, interest holders in the welfare and development of that part of the country? I mean, what is your sense?
We had some outdoor meetings, some sports meeting, and it was very successful, sensitizing the people to what we are about, and they understand. Now, you know, everybody needs a Moses to deliver. You hardly get followers. Yes. But they want to go to the promised land, milk and honey.
Yes.
So we had a few spot meetings in STL, Los Rio Junction. That was the first meeting. Then we came to Los Charo Junction, and we are heading to Los Bajo.
Yeah.
Right?
That's my hometown.
Your hometown, right? So we sensitizing the people. I also spoke to Levi Garcia, father, because Judah was here recently, and he had us to go
Levi
to.
Garcia is a footballer.
Yes, they are prominent people in Santa Florida.
Yeah.
So Judah had us to leave to go to Russia, and he said, well, when they return, because me and Carl work together in the company and so on, he said we'll get in touch with them to inspire the young people to have a little word with them. And they does tremendous work when they come to Trinidad around Christmas time and so on. So what we are doing is to sensitizing the people, mobilizing the people, because we're getting them into committees, but through us, right, to further sensitize the people and meet with the parliamentary representative. Now, one thing I have in my mind consistently is the blueprint rollout. Gillingham, the Honorable Gillingham, Mr. Work and Mr. Structure, and I think that will entail the development, a holistic development of the country that will touch on sports and infrastructure and all these sort of things. So we will have a meeting with her, and also we want to be inside the budget.
Scheduled for when?
No, we have.
You're seeking one.
Yeah, the president will talk about that, expand on that. Well, however.
And what, she would go down there, she would come down there, or
in all my correspondence to the different ministers, I mentioned about a site visit. Come and see for yourself when we will be there and so on, because there's a saying, seeing is believing. Right? So, naked truth. So, let it touch down. Right? And that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
so, and I asked the question, I don't understand, that I asked the question, who it is really seeking your interest like this in the past, or what group? And nobody cannot answer. They didn't answer. So, that is how I got together and I chose some words and I said the people first. Foundation.
I'm trying to remember what it is, but I think in discussions with people who know you and so on, I think you'd mentioned some issues with names of facilities in the area that you thought needed to be revised. You're not sure what that might be about.
That is the like the trade school in Santa Flora, Petrotrin Trade School, which was closed down. One that reopened. I think he mentioned the dairy earlier to you, right? And there are other beaches.
Okay, if it's in that area, I talk about in my meetings in the past, the different communities, about training. And I mentioned about the trade school.
When did the trade school?
Well, when Petrotrin closed down, everything closed down. And the young people just there running wild, hoping that they could send a Moses. And you understand? So what I told them that I suggested the opening of the street school in the well-servicing area, the one up top the hill, and have different courses, including courses for the differently abled people, like tailoring, a little upholstering and things like that, right? Woodwork, right? Joinery and things like that.
Because so you don't just complain and make representation for attention, but you point out specific issues and areas that could be addressed, that should be addressed, that ought to be addressed.
Yes. But this one we're talking about to the trade school, I haven't put any pen to paper on it as yet, right? The next one coming after the velodrome will be to the Ministry of Agriculture for the return of the Palo Seco Los Bajo dairy, right? That is a 360 profit for everybody. You will get milk, you will get beef, People will be trained in animal husbandry and employment. So it's a 360 thing for everybody to benefit, right? We just have to get things in order, because that helps with the, remember it, I know URP and CPEP again, and the people just hoping and hoping. So we got to find places to bring back for the people to get employment, right? So they can get money to send their children to school, buy groceries, pay bills, and all sorts of things. So this is what it is I will be doing after I finish with the...
I don't know how it might fit in here, but I think in discussion with somebody earlier, talking about your sort of activism and driving this process here, that you had an issue about one of the cemeteries, the Earings.
No, I don't have any issue with the cemetery.
Upkeep or anything like that.
Well, what I can safely say is that
like the Earring Cemetery.
the Airlink cemetery need a proper wall from end to end.
Oh, I think that may have been what I heard somebody.
And the shed or the structure that is inside there, to for whatever purpose, needs to fix, and a proper pipe-borne water should be running, and it should be in a proper way, and the place needs cleaning. Place needs cleaning, and I'm going to send a correspondence to the mayor, do not may you, and all this sort of thing, because I don't know what is the position with the councillor, and I'm not going there. I'm dealing with the head, so that he can be able to take a note and see things are done. Because
what is the situation at Beach Camp?
Well, Beach Camp is an ISO. Beach Camp is a sad,
ISO.
Yeah, it's a sad story. It is a sad story because, as we mentioned, the closing of the company. Now, I was an apprentice in the company, right? I was a beneficiary, then I work in the company, right? And my time when I worked there, I moved from machine shop to well services, to do hydraulics and tools and equipment. And we had a production right up.
Another few steps up from one position to the next.
Yeah, right. So what I'm saying now, Beach Camp could be a resort. I also mentioned when they came and did the site visit to the velodrome there. I was also an athlete too. Yeah. Yvonne Mitchell.
I was under former Prime Minister Rowley. When the site visit to...
Yeah, that was after. That was just recently.
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
Right.
Okay.
I was also an athlete on the velodrome. Used to run for Tesoro. We had a good team, right? We have records that we established there. Yvonne Mitchell. Yeah. Dewey, right. The Fortune brothers. Jimmy and Bob.
Yes.
The Shabin brothers. Small boy. Ryan, right? Yeah. And a host of others. So I am attached to it. I grew up in Dali's village as a company area there. So they call the company heritage, but they destroy our heritage. Funny, eh?
Interesting observation.
Yeah. They destroy our heritage, but they come back and slap me in the face and call it heritage. We lost our jobs. Right?
Medical.
The medical. The equipment's millions.
So what happened to the health center in Dali village?
Oh my God. So Belgium didn't take out of it.
Well,
they demolished it in recent time. So I have a group of us still championing the cause with petroleum workers, ex-former workers and so on. I had a meeting with the Honorable Ernesto Kiza concerning some outstanding issues, right? Some grievances outstanding, which they say is the industrial court and XYZ. I won't go into that, right? But the prime thing is that, as my president mentioned, every item that we discuss is not, how I should say, it have value to it. It have economics value in it. It have return. So consider it as an investment. Right? Now, the revitalization blueprint, that's what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And two things, two factors, the revitalization blueprint and the budget. We want to get in all of these things before they read the budget so they could allocate for us. Right? We try hard with God in front. I know that the Prime Minister is willing, right? And she's trying to be able, because of following up the thing, investment coming in, oil, investment, rigs.
Yeah, so at least you have some hope.
We have some hope, we have the vision, we know it, and we are channeling it, we are championing, and the people is coming on board because they understand, we are sensitizing them.
Yeah. We have less than a minute to go. I just want to ask, so you have a sort of backing on, from people on the streets and
we have a lot of backing from the people on the streets. Yeah. We have a lot of encouragement from the Honorable Mr. Elder.
Yeah, the MP.
Yeah, he's not making no commitment. I don't want to put him in that spot. He's not making any commitment, but he's hearing us, he's listening to us, right?
Yeah. As a former trade union leader, you think he brings something to, when he makes a commitment?
He brings something, and by extension, the Honorable Ernesto Kiza, right? Yeah. They are willing, right? They are not making no firm commitment.
No grand promises and so
on.
No. You get a sense of earnestness among them.
A sense of earnestness, I'm feeling that. But I have a new name for Ernesto Kiza. I call him Honorable Ernesto Cautious Kiza.
Well, I suppose it has to be because...
Yeah, he's very cautious.
Before we move away, I want to commend the TTPS, Toronto Police Service, for the quick action in dealing with this matter, with the unfortunate murder there, with the child. Yeah. Right? And I also want to commend the supporters of the family and all who intend to prop up the family. And this is what it is all about, right? With Mr. Elder, he is a man in the area, and he knows he comes from humble beginning, and he's doing his best. I want to let you know that last week, in the area in Carapal, he was able to cause 2 wells to get on stream, water wells in Carapal, right? And last week or week before, Wednesday, and it was done, and that area now is pushing a lot of water in the area. And he's an approachable guy, and he listens. I can't say for those else in the past.
All right. So, where to at this stage? What's your next?
Where do we go from here?
Yeah.
Well, as the president said, we have some correspondence, and we have to work on it kind of a little expeditiously because we're looking at the budget time, so we could get some allocation, and also the revitalization plan. We have to get to the minister to get some more in-depth details where we fit in, because it says from Toko to Sijas, from north to south, east to west.
Yeah, this correspondence I'm sending out is what they call laying the foundation. Laying the foundation, in order to make the place look nice, you have to prepare the place and so on. Yeah. Rather than you go to them and they will tell you, well, write us now, tell us something. I know the drill. So we send it up one time. So you find out down the road, we could ask for a meeting and draw reference to that, what we send up there. What's the position, Madam MP? What's the position, sir, on this? You understand? Yeah. And that kind of thing. So we giving them a little time. Let me finish, send out 1 or 2 more, and then I will come back to number 1 to ask questions.
All right, start the process moving.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
Yes,
Yeah,
man.
Mr. Lennox Correa and
Yes,
Mr.
man.
Johnson Guevara.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you very much.
For
I mean,
concerns.
of course, we will stay in touch with it because of who's here. This has been 10 Questions. I'm Andy Johnson. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
WESN. WESN.
Bill and Ruth fell in love with the Benjamin Moore color Dry Sage, but they tried to match it using another brand's paint.
I mean, it's close enough.
Almost identical, really. Yeah, there it is.
Never trust another